Good morning to my brother as well.
And crime.
Great. Erastus, help us understand. What's this we hear in the Manso area about the community attacking the IGP's task force against illegal mining?
Well, Winston, is public knowledge how submerged the Manso areas are in illegal mining. In fact, when you go to Manso Dubia, many of their lands are already degraded. And so the chiefs will tell you that even if you sell it for somebody to build a house, they need to rent bulldozers to reclaim it before they can use it. Lands have been devastated. Galamsey everywhere. Manso Dubia, Manso Cry, Tuntukrum, and its environs. So the IGP recently put a very strong team from Accra over there, and they've been working there. They've been seizing excavators, arresting illegal miners for about 2 weeks now. Now, yesterday on their patrols, they at Bonteso, Manso Bonteso, they found some excavators degrading the land close to residential areas in that particular town. So they went in, seized the excavators. By then, the Galamseyers had already bolted into the town. Then when they seized the excavators, they had 2 people, including the assembly member for the area, coming forward to claim ownership of the excavators.
The assembly member?
Yes, the assembly member for Bonteso. I'll look for his name for you.
Okay.
They came forward and claimed that they own the excavators, and so they should release them for them. And the team said, no, once we are here, we will take the excavators away. He's Patrick Asari, Assemblyman of the electoral area.
Okay.
Then he went to town and started inciting the public against the team. So many of the illegal miners started, coming around. Before they could say Jack, quite a number of the community members, residents, if I would say, the entire community is coming at them. Some holding sticks, some throwing stones, pelting them with stones, some firing pump action gun behind them, just for them to drop the excavators. But the team said no. And so if you see the video, you see how they stood their ground. The people were unfazed. They were coming at them in their numbers. When they fired the warning shots, still, the people were still coming forward and trying to face them boot for boot. So in the end, they have to stand their ground. They fired a number of warning shots, and they were able to maneuver, bring the excavators to Manso Dubia, and were able to arrest the ringleaders, the assembly member, Patrick Asari, one Akwesian Ponsa, and one Osei Vasco, who were leading the mob in that action. So some of the IGP's men sustained some, stone injuries to the mouth, legs, and others. So that's what happened in Manso Bonteso yesterday.
Okay. So currently the assembly member and the others are in police custody?
Yes, they are in police custody at the Manso Dubia police station. They have also been able to bring the excavators to the Manso Dubia police station. They, however, were unable to pick one which was sitting in the pit because of the confrontation. There's one left there that they need to go back and pick, but because of the hostilities, they had to bring the one excavator to the Manso Dubia and also get the suspects, 3 of them, in police custody.
Okay. Now, following the helicopter crash, the whole nation has been saddened, and the consensus is that we must win the war against illegal mining. Erastus, over the past week, has the fight been going, the fight against illegal mining?
Well, I would say that in some areas we're doing well, but the larger picture doesn't look good. In the area of forest reserves, for example, I would say that we chalked quite some meaningful success. The IGP's men have been able to raid forests like the ones in the Awin area, the Samreboy Enclave, the Tano Nimri, the Tano Anya, the Boy Tano, Boy River. They've been able to clear illegal miners from there. So we will say that that place has been calm for some time now. When you go to Nkaria in the Ashanti region, the Nyinahini area, Jimira extension, and some parts of Ofin shelter belt, they've been able to drive illegal miners out of there. The IGP's team have been patrolling that particular forest. If you know, recently, some miners went in there with 5 excavators. They went in and, took the excavators, arrested some people where they were met with some resistance, but they were able to move it. So you will say that in many of the forest areas, now things are calming down. But where we still have problems as the settlements, the settlements. You remember the IGP stormed the Wasa Japa, Wasa Ntwentwena, Wasa Krupon, where mining is done within the town itself, and arrested some people. They are back in their numbers. Okay. In fact, the Ayamfree Road is lined up. Recently, I had a friend shoot a drone there for me. And if you look at the footage, you see that the illegal miners are back by the main road within the town, mining freely with impunity over there. It also tells you how weak the security agencies are at the local level, how compromised many of the officers are at the local level. Manso Dubia, for example, some of them, the policemen have stayed there for longer years and they become so compromised. Some of them take monies from the illegal miners, and so they cannot control or enforce environmental laws in those areas. The same applies to the Wasa Krupon areas. When you go to Osino, within the town, but just by the main Kumasi Accra road, we have spoken about it on so many occasions. It's still happening within the town, just by the main road. Konongo, Odumase, Akrokere, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. So it is like a culture that is now creeping into settlement because people feel that once nobody is enforcing the laws and they can pay their way out at the local level, now they can do whatever they like. That is a big challenge.
Okay.
And then the mining on water bodies. Now, almost every river you know at the moment have Shamfan machines sitting on them. Yesterday, somebody shot some videos to me from Sefijaboso where you see Shamfan machines, a number of them on the Bia River. And look at how murky and dirty the river is. Pristia, Huni Valley, and now have seen the chiefs are, gathering momentum. They are assisting security agencies because now they are seeing the west of Galamsey in those areas. The Ankobra, the Pra, name it. Okay. Now in this area, Chebia Papam, you have chiefs who are now supporting a miner to dig a trench, ostensibly to divert the Brim River into the trench so they can go and sit within the basin of the Brim River and mine within the basin. So crazy you cannot even think about it. And when Arocha Ghana brought out the issue, Naimo sent some soldiers to the town. And I'm reliably informed that the chiefs are saying that that project belongs to them.
The illegal mining project belongs to the chiefs?
Yes, belongs to them. I wonder which regulatory institution, whether the EPA is aware of it, the Minerals Commission, the Water Resources Commission, are they aware of that trench? What are they waiting for?
Let me bring in Ken Ashigbe at this point. He's CEO of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, but also has been leading the charge against illegal mining. Ken, thank you very much for joining us. And Erastus has been telling us the situation within the Manso areas. But you've also been talking about how you think that MMDCEs should be held responsible, including being sacked by the president for their failure to fight illegal mining.
Well, thank you very much, Winston. And thanks to Erastus for all the good work that he's doing and to multimedia as well. The first thing I want to do is to call upon all the media. We are now in a worse situation than we have been. So this is the time for all of us. As Omanibo Ama said, where put on your body cams, this is the time for all of us, the media, to shine our eyes on this thing. We cannot allow that after 8 people have lost their lives in the quest to be able to sanitize this, we still have environmental criminals. And that's what Galamsey is, an environmental crime. Let's stop calling it Galamsey. That they have the effrontery to attack the IGP's men who had gone into, and if you look at the video that Erastus has shared, that level of degradation and destruction, there is no way the Ochihene did not know about it. So that we are calling on the Ochihene himself to destroy all the chiefs who are responsible for that. We then are saying that there is no way that whether it is the DC or the MC in that community did not know about that. So immediately, if the president says Galamsey is a national emergency that has taken the life of his confidant, this particular MC or DC should immediately be dismissed and then interdicted an investigation start. He is both incompetent and cannot deal with a situation, and he might also be complicit because there's no way he doesn't know about that. The assemblyman who is leading the charge of this criminality, both the environmental criminality and daring to attack the state forces, should be hauled in immediately. I am happy some people have been arrested. All of these people, we should throw the book at them. And the police commanders, from the divisional commanders in this area, to the district commanders, to the station commander who is close to that, these people should also immediately be relieved of their duties, be interdicted and investigated for complicity. We should look into their bank accounts. We should look into the bank accounts of their wives, their children, to find out if there's any money that has come into that particular space. And the NIB officers who are there, we should check whether they have done any report stating this. How is it that these excavators, how is it that these green tipper trucks have been moving? Where do they move to? Because when they send the ore to and process it, that is where the kingpins are going to be. So, the same way that the US, when 9/11 happened, they had an abhorrence to this thing, is the same way we need to treat this. And so we need to be showing, that level of anger to these environmental criminals who have the impudence. And the names that Erastus is mentioning, all of those chiefs, we should be going after them. The coalition is going to be issuing a statement, very soon. And the call that has been made by UTAC, we are calling on all labor unions, we are calling on all professional bodies. We all need to support the call that the Minister for Land and Natural Resources of support for this particular fight. We need to show to these environmental criminals that they cannot continue to take us for a big ride and sacrificing our very existence. So we need to show that abhorrence.
Okay. Now, calling on labor unions, we know that in the past, labor unions had spoken against some of these things. What do you want them to do specifically?
So the time has come for us to, the demands that we have made have not changed. So in this particular instance, for example, a state of emergency in this particular community is very critical. They're dealing with all the politically exposed persons who are involved in this. How is it that Iyoko, for example, the investigations of the NDC, national organizer, and the third national vice president, how is it that we are not hearing anything about it? How is it we don't know that they've been arrested like Akonta Mining have been arrested? How is it that Akonta Mining is currently not in court? How is it that the NDC MP for our win, we have not had any arrest? The NDC constituency chairperson for Dunkwao, and then Axib. How is that none of them have been arrested? Another major issue that the labor union should be demanding is to see immediate action of the politically exposed people and the people that His Excellency President John Mahama, when he was candidate Mahama in October last year at Movember, called the kingpins. How is it that none of them, we are not seeing any of those arrests taking place? So we should be asking for that. We should also, as labor unions, professional bodies, traditional authorities, the religious bodies, we should be asking that His Excellency the President, the call that he made that you're going to make MCU, DCs as the key performance indicator being fighting Galamsey, we should be asking the President to be dismissing every MDC in whose community Galamsey is happening, most of them hidden in clear sight. And then the police commanders from divisional, sometimes even regional, divisional, district commanders and station commanders, where Galamsey is happening, obviously, these people should also be dismissed and be prosecuted. So we should also be asking that the Minister for Interior, who is seen to be weeping and supporting his dead youth, cannot be the same person who also is deporting foreigners who are caught. I can tell you for a fact that this week or last week, NEMOS arrested 9 Chinese. These Chinese people were taken to the immigration. They were not taken to the police to be arrested. So it means that these people, again, are going to be deported. How is it that those people we saw in national security attack, who went attacking 3 forestry commission officers, we've not heard anything about them. There was a police vehicle involved. There were some policemen involved. So all of us should be demanding for action. We should be asking His Excellency, the President, that the pain he's feeling, he should translate that into increased effort to make sure that we deal with the criminality around it. Let me give you an example. Last year in Daba, the South African minister in charge of mining, he said clearly that if anybody goes and gets himself engaged in illegal mining, encroaching on concessions of people, they should not call him. It has nothing to do with mining. It is clear criminality. So that is what, as a people, we should also do.
Okay.
We should stop all of these things of dancing around it. These are environmental criminals. They've been called terrorists. You don't deal with terrorists the way we are doing.
Great. Let me bring in Erastus at this point. But before I bring in Erastus, so Ken, talking about the Manso areas, for instance, that's in the Ashanti region. There's a chief, but most importantly, these lands, are owned by the Asantehene. Are you calling on him to also begin destooling these chiefs?
I am going to ask the Otunfo. He's done it before. He has demonstrated that before. I am going to plead with him that in the Manso area, Otunfo, please, any chief whose land is part of that, who is part of that, please destool the person. Destool. It is really important that the thing you started by destooling those 3 chiefs, you need to continue it.
Erastus, so what's the situation today if we go to these areas, these Manso areas?
Manso areas is a Galamsey hub. Everybody knows it. If you watch my post on Facebook and you see the comments, the townsfolk, there are people who are commenting and they are happy that the fight has been extended to the Manso areas. Manso Crime, Manso Datano, Manso Tuntukrum, Manso Crime, everywhere. If you remember, the place where my team and I were assaulted, Esumenya, the Asananyo Forest Reserve.
Sure.
There's a thin line between that place and Manso Crime. And if you know how the police in that area go about extorting money from illegal miners without necessarily doing anything. When we were arrested, and we asked the commander to accompany us to where we know the perpetrators were to arrest them, he said the vehicle cannot go there.
The vehicle cannot go there?
Yes, the 4x4 Hilux, Toyota Hilux cannot travel there, but our vehicle, the Fiat vehicle, can move there.
Could go there.
Yes, and he didn't. I don't want to talk about the frustrations we have to go through, even in prosecution, the lack of commitment by CID people at that level to even assist. And it tells you how compromised some people are at the local level. And I think that is a key thing that the IGP should look at. You were asking how the place looks like.
Yeah.
Abandoned area, forest reduced to nothing, farmlands totally destroyed. The streams that run through Manso, none of them exist as a clean stream you can use for anything, not for farming, not for swimming, nothing. Gradually, the Manso areas are becoming desolate. And the Chinese, the weapons they were using have been left within the system. So if you remember, the bullion van that was attacked in Manso, this is the same area.
Mm-hmm.
So we have all manner of weapons sitting in that enclave. And the people are so violent when it comes to protecting their own. It's like the whole community have come to accept Galamsey. And they are doing it. And they are destroying lands. They are destroying almost everything. And nobody cares. So I think that going forward, the government should be very serious about this. Enough of the feet dragging. Dr. Omane Boama, before his death, about 3 weeks before his death, he called me. He used to call me. Whenever I post something, sometimes he calls. And then he asks, how can we help? And this is somebody who was really interested in doing something positive about Galamsey. And I know that Dr. Samuel Sapon was also calling me as well. He was more particular about people who were within the party and were doing Galamsey.
Okay.
So these deaths must not be for nothing. This is a wake-up call. The GMA, I always say, I am not happy with the GMA because they see the effects of Galamsey medically in their consulting rooms on a daily basis. Sometimes some of them call me to come and look at cases, children who have loss of heavy metals in their blood and are sick. So they should be leading the charge. They shouldn't be sitting on the fence. Every one of those unions should be vociferous about this. It's time we do responsible mining or we don't do it at all.
Okay. Let me bring in Ken finally. So finally from you, what else should be done, Ken?
So I think that currently all Ghanaians, people who love this country, the time to act is now. So everything that Erastus has said is just pointing out to the fact that, we are trying to deal with this thing, but we're not being decisive. The time to be decisive is at this particular moment. So next this moment, after the death of these 8 people, then we are doomed. Because His Excellency the President has about maximum a year and a half to be able to deal with this criminality that is happening. And if we don't deal with it, and then the search for the NDC to start looking for the flag bearer to replace His Excellency, then we will completely be eating up. So it's important that we all act at this particular point. And I call upon all well-meaning people in Ghana to come around and let's push and support the president to do the right thing, making sure we are holding all of these people accountable. They are criminals. Let me give you a thing. One of the areas that Erastus mentioned, the Tontochrome area.
Yeah.
You know that because of, and the history of that goes all the way back to Aisha 1. But because of the activities of this illegality that is happening, the state between 2024 and 2025 is losing $260 million in terms of taxes alone. So these people, they are hitting us everywhere. And so enough is enough. We need to demand accountability from our leaders for the sake of these 8 who have died. And make sure that we all support the president. We show the revulsion. But the politicians is the number. So we need to do a mass mobilization. I have reached out to, His Grace, my Archbishop of Accra. And I think it is time for us to go back onto the street to pray again and to point out to our leaders that we cannot sit and be tolerating this. For us in the Catholic Church, 2 of the people who died are our parishioners, apart from the fact that all the 8 are also citizens of ours. And I pray that
Omanibuama specifically, and the squadron leader, wherever they are, as matter, their blood is on any politician who is still engaged in this Galamsey. And I'm asking the Eastern Regional Minister. I was with her in Obuasi when this thing happened. Definitely this issue that is happening, that Erasmus showed the video, should be at her attention. What is he doing about it?
All right.
She was weeping on the day when it happened. She should convert that pain into action. And that's what all of us should do.
Thank you very much, Ken Ashigbe, who's CEO of the Ghana Chamber of Mines. And thank you also, Erastus Asare Donko, with Love FM in Kumasi, and he's been leading the charge on illegal mining.